VA Declassified, Secrets of the VA Home Loan Benefit. I'm Chris Bettis from Fluent Mortgage, VA Fluently, where we battle fake news, drop truth, and give you tools to succeed. All right, this one's not as fun and light and a lot of interesting things. It's essential. We title this, Don't Lose Your Life Savings. Wire fraud. Fake news probably won't happen to you. Doesn't happen very often. It's just not something you need to worry about. Truth. Remember, I'm in the trenches, right? I see loans every single day. This is what I do. Every single transaction, almost every single purchase or refinance, especially purchases, not as often on refinances, but purchase, I see an attempt in wire fraud. Every single time, just about. So it's more than likely going to be attempted on you. It's just whether or not you'll fall victim to it. Okay? What is wire fraud? So just definitionally, I have it here on the screen, of course, so if you want to hear it per the Department of Justice. But bottom line, it's someone that wants to steal your money and they're going to use it through an electronic transfer means or wiring. That's the most common we see in mortgage. How you're going to have your entire life savings stolen is when you're wiring your money to buy the home and you're sending it to the wrong place. How does it happen? All right, so every time it's via email, it's not phone call, it's not text, it's never for sure in person, right? It's email. And what they do is someone's account is hacked. So usually a Gmail, a Yahoo, a lot of times you as the veteran or client, sometimes, and no offense or disrespect, a lot of realtors will use Gmails, Yahoo accounts, and that because it makes sense for branding in case they go to a different company, they don't take an internal server, a little stronger domain, right? So someone gets a hold of that account, it gets hacked, and then through AI internationally, they're just following you and they're following the loan process. AI, not a physical person, but they're just tracking it. And usually about a week before you're supposed to be closing, you get an email. And it's going to look perfect, literally, unless you know what to look for or you're in the trenches every day, like counterfeit money. They're so well done, you're going to fall for it. So literally, all the right language. Good morning. Due to COVID-19 makes sense. Your closing funds should be wired out immediately. The urgency is key. Make sure you do it instantly. The dollar amount was close because remember, they're following all the language and what's happening. We're almost at closing table. Timing's just a little bit earlier. They get just barely ahead of us so nobody knows, right? Even the right person, the right phone numbers, the right everything. How could we know this is a fake? Always at the sender. So it may even have the right person, but you need to always expand the actual address. Well, escrow.officer@cox.net. That's never lawyer's title, right? We've been seeing this whole transaction coming through. There's no way. It's at lawyerstitle.com. We have the escrow officer's actual name in there. This is how you know. That is usually the only thing that's not perfect. Everything else is dialed. They've got the wiring instructions are in there. Going to a fictitious bank. So that's how they fraud you. Someone's account's been hacked. They email you and track it with the use of AI. And just before when I would be sending out, escrow would be sending this out a couple days early, an urgent request, looks perfect from your escrow officer, different name, sending it to a bank somewhere else that's immediately going to drop it internationally. Immediate, right? Once you do it, it's gone. So, before you wire money, first off, let me tell you a story about one of my veterans. Very smart, tech. His actual job role is in compliance and fraud, right? Should know better. The title company that we happen to work with is very big on wire fraud. Lots of alerts, lots of emails, lots of flyers, and they have their own bank. So it's really obvious if you're using XYZ title company, they have XYZ bank. It's not ever being sent to Bank of America, right? It's their own bank. Like you can't get any stronger or safer, easier to not have wire fraud than this title company. Brand X real estate agency, over the top talking about wire fraud. I had a form at the time, wire fraud, right? In my status updates at the very end, it says, hey, do not wire cashier's check only. So dude's smart, that's his industry, been told by escrow, been told by real estate, been told by me, He gets this email. So he takes his $12,000 for his down payment. He takes that fictitious wiring instructions. He goes down to his bank. He walks into said bank. He gives them the instructions. They send out the money. He turns around, walks out the door. The second the door literally hits his back, he's like, oh my gosh, what the heck did I just do? That was really unwise. I know better. Walks inside, gone. Never to get his money back. He will never ever, and you probably wouldn't. Once it's out, it is gone. You will not get it back. He calls me. He's like, dude, how could you do this? I know. I knew better. The email was clean, but I knew better. I knew better. I knew better. I knew better. This is my world. It's just COVID and busyness and life and financials and kids. And I was busy. I didn't think I knew better. I got caught. So if one of the smartest dudes that's literally, this is his world, can get caught, you and I can, right? It can happen. So what do you do to protect yourself? Most importantly, how do we not get frauded? Okay? Old school it. Go OG. Literally, you get a cashier's check from your bank, right? You look at them. It's your money. You go to the escrow company and you look at your escrow officer in the eyes. You know who she is. You hand her the check. There's no possible way you could have wire fraud. Literally, money to money, old school, person to person, looking them in the eyes. You're not Zelling it, you're not Venmoing it, you're not wiring it, right? Person to person. The key though, if you're doing this, you got to do it the day before. Okay? That's the only downside to a cashier's check is you physically have to drive somewhere, bring it back, and it has to be done the day before. They need that extra day for seasoning. Now, sometimes you have to wire, right? Maybe your bank's out of state. Maybe you can't make it happen the day before because of X, Y, or Z. The safest way, again, in my opinion, get the wiring instructions directly from escrow in advance, person to person. You take your wiring instructions to your bank. Then at least when they wire, you know for sure you have the right set of wiring instructions. So again, OG it, eye to eye, person to person. They're bringing the cashier's check. Ideally, that's the way to protect yourselves. Or worst case, you get the instructions direct from live person, take it to person. Okay? Before. How to report wire fraud if it happened to you. So, again, not are you going to be tempted, but yes, you're going to be tempted. The question is whether or not you're going to allow them to steal and fraud from you, right? So unfortunately, human nature, it's embarrassing. It sucks. You're mad. And reminder, you're never getting your money, right? So what's the point to even file the report? You're not getting me my money. I already know it's gone forever for life. So additional work, time, and stress for me, why? You're not going to help me. Here's why. Beg of you, plead of you, please do it. What they do is they start following up. They start flagging accounts. They start fighting to figure out who's doing it. They maybe can't get your money back, but you could protect another brother or sister, another service member, right? That may have it happen in the future. True story. So unfortunately, you heard the story of the $12,000 that actually never came back. Let me tell you the story of the $300,000 life savings that almost went away. Knew better. Smart. Didn't listen. Sent $300,000 entire life savings to the wrong account. Gone. Could not get it back. Now here's the happily ever after. Because enough other service members said, fraud, 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 that person, that account, the FTC and the DOJ had contacted that bank, who usually is the normal one that distributes immediately internationally. I mean, that's the launching pad to international. Like, we know. They actually flagged that account. So $300,000 frauded. Immediately like, oh my gosh, I made a mistake. They're like, yup, it's gone. Oh my gosh. I mean, just imagine, right? You're 60 years old. You're about to retire. You're about to try your dream home. Legacy, right? Biggest one in Oregon, I believe, is about $700,000. Legacy, happily ever after. Because you didn't bring in a cashier's check. You didn't think. You didn't know better. You went too fast. Life savings gone. Your entire 30 years of life of work is gone. Homeless, you get to start over at age 60. You get to start that 30 years over in life. I mean, just Can you imagine? Obviously, everybody's getting sued in the world. They're homeless. It's just not a happy day for everybody. So that's why I'm protecting it. But if it happens, report. Here it is, report. Protect at least the next person. We can't let these people steal. We can't let them fraud. We can't let them take your life savings. All right? Wire fraud. Don't lose your life savings. VA Declassified, where we battle fake news, draw truth, and give you tools to succeed. In terms of the tools, we're going to give you all the FTC and the DOJ stuff, realtors, escrow, mortgage, or if you want to deep dive in this, if you're passionate about it as a service member or veteran, I gave you the full 33-minute slideshow from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB, the industry watchdog advisor group that they're the source. So if you want to dig deep, that's who it is. All right, guys, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share, but most of all, use your benefit and never get frauded. Talk to you soon. Bye.